have Jacquie Loch, who is VP and Group Publisher of St. Joseph Media, based in Canada. Jacquie is a branded content expert, and she oversees St. Joseph's women's brands, and that includes the likes of Fashion, Wedding Bells, Mariage Quebec, and Canadian Family. And she focuses on developing cross-platform content solutions with clients. So today she's going to focus on the fashion brand and how it has developed some new advertising partnerships. So Jacquie, if you'd like to come to the stage.
Am I on?
Yeah, you're on. You're
Perfect.
On. I think you should be turned up.
You can't compete with cheesecake, apparently. Hi, friends. That's my hype squad over there. Thank you for being here. It's kind of tough act to follow some cheesecake and fight Facebook. So thank you. As I was introduced, I'm going to be talking about some really innovative things that we've been doing on Fashion Magazine. Just a little bit of context. Fashion Magazine is a national English language Canadian publication. Canada has a population of about 35 million people, and we have a social media following of 2.6 million. So that's 5 times our closest competition. So keep that in mind, because this is a brand that's absolutely powered by social. Hello, other friend. I greet everybody personally. So I like to say welcome. It's a Canadian thing, right? Welcome, please sit down, and then I say I'm sorry. So Fashion Magazine, what we have done is created really new advertising partnerships in this new magazine ecosystem. That's fancy for saying a year ago I took over as publisher, we completely reorganized the way that the editorial team was structured. At that time there was a very separate digital team, a very separate editorial print team, a very separate advertising team. They didn't talk to each other, they didn't like each other. So I came in and we changed it all up. And there's a technical term for the feeling that I got from everybody at the time of the change, known as stink face. They were not happy, but we've really turned it around and made them happy. So we decided, what's our niche, what's our platform, and it is truly luxury. We carry all of the great luxury advertisers that are global, and our job was to basically elevate the brand and to create a platform where a luxury brand could actually activate properly. So we did the opposite of what the other Canadian publishers were doing. We did not decrease our quality of paper. We did not make cuts in our print publication. We actually upped the experience. I turned off a bunch of the programmatic advertising that was running on the website because I didn't want it in the environment. And the way I describe the environment we've created is the way that you would actually populate a shopping mall. You know how the luxury brands want to be next to other luxury brands? And they really get upset depending who their neighbor is? That's what we've done. So positioning the magazine as a luxury brand involved us acting like a luxury brand. So that also gave us an opportunity to go out and talk to advertisers in a very different way and have CMO direct conversations about where we're placing our bets on our brand and how to connect with our audiences. So here's 2 really great examples. And this is a way that we turned the revenue model on its head. So this is taking 2 advertising examples here. One is L'Oreal. Everybody knows L'Oreal, who's our largest advertiser, who pays the lowest page rate, who owned every single inside front cover of every magazine we publish, AKA squatting on the premium property. So we turned what would have been a double-page spread insertion for L'Oreal into a really great example I'm about to show you. The other thing we did is, I'm also the chair of the Content Council in New York, which is the US equivalent of the Content Marketing Association. So I know, after research we've done, is nearly 30% of all marketing budgets are now spent on content marketing. So those are the budgets we went after. So deep editorial integrations, and the trick there is they have to be on-brand and on strategy. They cannot be a forced fit. They have to be natural. They have to make sense with the editorial environment. You have to involve editorial. You have to involve your creative team. Absolute sacrilege. So leveraging the status, our status, and our category expertise. This is what we did. So L'Oréal Paris. The objective here was to present a brand new line of makeup, infallible paints, really, really, really bright colored makeup, and then ask the usual things you're asked by agencies. High impact, never been done, first to market, right? All of that stuff. And to really showcase the products in a 360 program that promotes awareness and drives consumer engagement. So what we did is we went to market with this fun thing that had a bunch of secret ingredients. It was a co-branded cover, which meant there was a co-branded cover feature. We did a beauty issue that we've never done. We're called Fashion. Usually there's fashion. Now we've done a beauty cover. We created 5 covers using a supermodel, that's another secret, with a big social following, Coco Rocha. We created an interactive flip book that was on upgraded cover stock that actually was perforated, that you could flip and fold and have fun with, like your little, those games you used to play as a child. We brought in a really high-end makeup artist. This came from L'Oreal in the partnership. So Sir John, that's his actual name, Sir John. He happens to be Beyonce's makeup artist. So that helped as well. So we had the secret sauce here for something amazing. And instead of pushing a magazine cover out and keeping it a secret, we shot a live cover shoot. We broadcast it on Facebook Live. We did behind the scenes. We did tons of social media to say we were doing it. And this is a bit of a look of what it did. So working with a supermodel means you can shoot 5 covers in 5 hours that are completely different. She's an absolute chameleon. Each cover look was curated by our beauty editors and featured a very different look on the makeup. Again, all product integration. By the way, the revenue generated from this program was 10 times what they would have paid for a double-page spread. And they still paid the double-page spread. So these are all the different combinations you can make of the cover. Here's how it looked. So that was entirely produced by our editorial team, and the editorial team had an absolute blast. I did not get stink face. They got to produce all kinds of great videos. They got to do things they never normally get to do, and they were thrilled about it. Online, the way that we treated it, so the advertising investment from L'Oreal was basically a double-page spread for that brand, but they underwrote this entire branded content program. Because it was the feature story, it was featured as the lead story long-form content on our website. The thing of note here, though, is part of our KPIs, we went for engagement. We went for things like scroll depth. So we had 92% scroll depth on this story, which is outstanding and breaks all metrics. And we went for video views and, again, pure content engagement and then actions taken. So the live cover shoot was pushed out over social media. It was a digital-first execution. It was playful and it was fun. And when I say fun, it wasn't just for the market, the audience. It was also fun for the editorial team. And it was first to market. So it ticked all the boxes for L'Oreal. I'll give you an example. I'm going to flip through some of the story pages so you can see how we integrated in a native way the actual product. So they were featured in our behind-the-scenes page. This is print. In our contents page, it's not every day you get a supermodel and you get Sir John. The editor's letter, she talked about the idea behind it. And by the way, the theme of this issue was IRL meets URL. And so the whole idea was that real world meeting the not real world. And that was also part of this fun way of bringing this to life. Here's our feature fashion story, again featuring all of the makeup looks, product integration throughout. We did Facebook Live video, we did boomerangs, we did behind the scenes. Here's some behind the scenes.
Okay, so look one is wrapped, and I wanted to ask you, we did a bit of a smoky eye, but you made it more greasy and shiny. So what was the key product or products used for this look?
Well, for this right here,
So you get the basic idea. That blasted out way ahead of the magazine actually publishing. That was a month in advance of us being in market. The earned media was outstanding. So we had 67 million media impressions just through earned media and being picked up across broadcast and print and digital. The Daily Mail picked us up, which we always like in Canada, and we do find that really funny. But again, we throw a celebrity on, we get the Daily Mail. We had Coco Rocha's social media reach. She has 1.2 million Instagram followers, really helpful. And the results exceeded all metrics, 92% scroll depth with the content, and we delivered over 104 million media impressions. There was no digital media buy or paid social to support this. Now, the missing link here, and we are hopefully doing it again, we're in talks with them, would be to link it to e-commerce and to basically sell those looks as packages, and that would be the next piece of the holy grail in literally converting people to being customers. So Joe Fresh, I don't know if you know the Joe Fresh brand. It's a fast fashion brand, kind of like Uniqlo, downmarket Zara. It's sold in supermarkets essentially in Canada. But this was a way to elevate a brand that literally sells, I'll have to do this in dollars, $10 Canadian, this is a lot less, $10 t-shirts in a really high fashion way. So the way that we integrated with them was to make them part of our travel feature. And we did it because that is actually what our audience would do. They would go out and buy 5 or 6 of these t-shirts to take away on vacation with them. So here's a look at what this looked like. There's our model. We did a really high impact peel and reveal cover that was perforated, again, in high quality stock. Perforated, so you peeled off the non-model page to reveal the model below. It was fun seeing them on newsstands all torn up, which is what we wanted. Again, the objective was to elevate this brand. Our theme was your best summer ever. It was summer, travel. And again, this is how we featured them. So here they are in print. Because they're part of our travel story. We shot at this crazy house in Mexico. They paid us 20 times what they would have paid a double-page spread rate to do this, by the way. So there they are in print. I'm going to flip through the story. But again, we're elevating a really, really average price clothing, but treating it in a way that a fashion reader would actually appreciate it and wear it. So there's our social. There you go. So it's using editorial expertise, it's editorial curation, editorial elegance, and positioning to really curate and select and profile this merchandise the way that we would profile something that was, $20,000 instead of $10. Did lots of video content, and so what essentially we did for both of these programs were to create a portfolio of video assets that our partners were able to use on their own social media channels. Facebook Live video, behind the scenes, all of that stuff we push out again. We have trained our audience to know that we do Facebook Lives for a lot of our programs. Because our Facebook audience is 1.6 million, we blast it out saying we're doing it, promote it across our channels, create it as a destination, and then go live. When we first started doing Facebook Live, we thought that 5 minutes was too much, and then we found out you cannot go long enough if the content is right. Anybody here know what microblading eyebrows are, right? Not the most exciting television. We did a 2 30-minute part segment on Facebook Live on microblading eyebrows. People hung in the whole time. It's crazy. So we get lots of insights because we're able to create these great dashboards because of all the platforms we're pulling in analytics from. And again, earned media is huge when you do this stuff. Because it was first to market, we had a story to tell. We were able to tell the story together. We were only in market with this for 15 days. Basically from pre-promotion time to going live, and we estimate we delivered over 4 million media impressions, which is huge return on value for the client. So both of these have a really special ROI equation attached to them. And then lastly, actually this is a client quote, which is amazing. So we did what they wanted to do. We elevated the brand. We drove sales in store. We also held some in-store events where we had editors there showing the merchandise, et cetera. And then again, those results. This had an 85% scroll depth, which is amazing considering we're a fashion magazine and it was a travel story. And again, delivery of the market. So again, here's something else we've also been doing and started to do. Again, leveraging our status and category expertise. So we are now, as Fashion Magazine and as St. Joseph Media, we're the official content AOR for Toronto Fashion Week, which just occurred 3 weeks ago. We had a little special guest. We're also their strategy partner as well. So we spent the last year coaching them and advising them on what the Fashion Week should look like in terms of being a cultural celebration of culture and a festival and more than just fashion. Jean-Paul Gaultier was the lead speaker, so he's hardly a fuss. Here we go.
I take command, take command, take command. I take command 'cause I can, 'cause I can. I take command up and down to the ground. I dare you right now, try to push me around.
Did it. It's flashing zero. And anybody have any questions?
I can start asking
There's
questions.
one.
Okay, right. Should we just,
You're looking for an excuse to throw that thing. She wants to throw it.
No.
Lob it over.
I'm gonna chuck.
Yeah. Throw it.
Well, it's gonna go that far. Right, okay. I told you I was rubbish at it. Right,
Thank
okay,
you.
what's the question?
Just a question, who are the speaking partners when deciding on such an operation?
Who are the partners?
Yes.
So you will love this. We're dealing directly with the chief marketing officers or the lead brand people at the client side. In both instances here, we did deal with the media agency only through the evaluation of the media components. It was very much an idea that we pushed out and met with each of these clients on. The way that it started was we did a road tour about last year and basically went out and talked to them about our editorial vision and our platform and our lineup. And then we started talking about the themed issues we wanted to do. We started talking about the types of things we wanted to do. And the conversation just grew from there. So we're actually changing the conversation and market and going after a very different route. So this could get you in a lot of trouble if you don't do it right. But we did not go media agency first.
Okay. Thank you.
One thing I thought was kind of interesting was those are amazing campaigns, like social, video, celebrities, the whole works.
Makeup artists,
yeah,
Beyonce,
absolutely. And I'm just sort of thinking you're delivering so much value to those clients.
Exactly.
And you're probably only charging 10 times as much to DPS, but how much work went into organize them? And maybe, is there a point where you should actually be charging more because you're doing something bespoke like that? It's a huge cost in terms of people's time.
It absolutely is, but we were doing those editorial features anyway. So we needed a cover feature in both instances. Yeah. We also had editorial budgets already set aside to produce those, so we had clients that were able to underwrite them. So the edit team is going to go off somewhere and shoot a cover story anyway. So this was a case of, okay, how do we actually, I'm not saying it wasn't more work for them.
No.
Because it was.
Yeah,
it was.
Yeah.
But we do custom videos off of all of our covers. We do Facebook Lives. Like, we're doing a lot of those things anyway. The second you say to an editorial team, hey, do you want to do something that's never been done before in print in this country? Their eyes light up. I mean, and our goal is right now, and we've just done it again actually with a partnership with Chanel with our 40th anniversary, and Chanel doesn't partner with anybody like that. We're turning the print magazine into a luxury item, because I really do believe print is a luxury item, and we're actually, again, upgrading that experience. So we're creating a special gift that our readers get, and our reader response has been crazy. So I know I haven't answered your question.
No.
A shitload of work is the answer. But again, because it's something that's never been done, there's this great swell of enthusiasm amongst the team to do it.
Yes, yeah. I guess what's interesting is if you're saying that this is almost like just augmenting an existing editorial feature that you'll be doing anyway, and it's getting the team excited, but maybe then you get to a point where you have some case studies and then you could actually kind of
Well, and there's still the
charge
client
more.
piece. I mean, we had Joe Fresh, the client was on set. partly because we were shooting in Mexico and they had to bring the clothes and the border and all kinds of stuff. But there were levels of client interaction. There were levels of client, not even approval, agreement and collaboration. But once we went into high production, it was go. So yeah, the editorial team did have to act differently in that they weren't 100% free to do what they wanted. But because they understood the opportunity and also the guidelines that were around it, they actually saw it as a creative challenge. And I'm just sticking to that because that's how I wear my rose-colored glasses.
And there was no feedback from readers sort of saying you're studying the front cover, we don't like it.
No, they loved it. They loved the experience. We got absolute, what we've been trying to do is something that's much more in the realm of surprise and delight versus disappointment and you sold out. We are a fashion magazine. I wouldn't do this with a lot of other titles. We're allowed to have fun with beauty, right? If we can't have fun with makeup and beauty, like there's something wrong. We're not, we're not solving world problems, even though, we're not. Our job is, again, it's that sheer joy and excitement of fashion.
Yeah, brilliant. Any other questions? One over here. You can. Well, no, I think we have to. We have to get it back anyway. But we won't pick up the sound.
For the L'Oreal campaign, did you pitch that specifically to L'Oreal for L'Oreal, or was that shopped around to other makeup brands?
That was absolutely 100% for L'Oreal. What was really, really tough, though, was finding the appropriate cover model. So we had talked to them about bringing in one of their international spokespeople. That would have been great. That takes like a year to organize. We started this project, that L'Oreal project, in January, and we were on newsstands in April. So we had to find a model that wasn't affiliated with a beauty company. Luckily, Coco Rocha is based in New York. She's always wanted to work with Sir John. We were able to throw around fancy names, and we were able to make it happen. It was literally the fashion gods were with us, and it all aligned. But yes, it was absolutely custom to L'Oreal. Same with Joe Fresh. And by the way, the reason we chose that crazy house with all the architectural bright colors is Joe Fresh is known for their bright orange color, and they felt that was really great and on brand and designy as well.
Yeah, brilliant. Thank you very much. We're out of time. Thank you very much, Jackie. And I think we now go to the main stage. That's right, to do the Innovation Awards. Brilliant. And I think after the Innovation Awards, there is networking drinks over in the market area about 6 o'clock. Thank you.